Well, Trump is deploying thousands of armed soldiers to the border to stop human beings fleeing danger from legally seeking asylum.
As part of Operation Faithful Patriot, the Pentagon is sending more than 5,200 troops to the southwest border, in addition to the more than 2,000 National Guard already deployed there.
Operation Faithful Patriot? That sounds like a direct-to-DVD movie starring Kevin Sorbo about an army ranger who uses the power of prayer to help him gun down brown people. Good grief. Operation Faithful Patriot. It is so pandering. It's like if you had a TV show and you called it I Love You, America. Whatever. Sending troops to the border or floating the idea of overturning birthright citizenship, these are just attempts to motivate his base right before midterms. We know it's a ploy because the caravans aren't even arriving until the earliest December. So for about a month, we're just going to have like 5,000 troops sitting at the border playing Uno. Playing Uno is what I call jacking off. The only things this administration has accomplished in the last 2 years is giving massive tax cuts to billionaires and appointing crying calendar man to the Supreme Court. Trump knows the only way that they can energize their base is through fear. He riles them up by starting a fake fight with a made-up enemy.
When you look at that caravan and you look largely, very, big percentage of men, young, strong, a lot of bad people in there, people that are in gangs.
That's who they're running from. These are exhausted refugees who have walked thousands of miles to flee desperate circumstances, and he is describing them like they're street toughs from the Beat It video. He starts fake fights that he doesn't have to finish because he knows in one way or another someone will finish them for him. And that is his starring role in our current epidemic of domestic terrorism. It's how we end up with 14 bombs to 14 people he has publicly targeted over and over again. A racist shooting in Kentucky, an anti-Semitic massacre in Pittsburgh, all in less than a week of announcing that he is a nationalist. So next week, think about voting. We've got to vote leaders into power that will see through the fear-mongering and the fake panic, because if it's not immigrants, it will be the media, and if it's not the media, it'll be some other made-up enemy, or the classic fallback Jews. Oh, shit, that reminds me. I've got to get ready for the war on Christmas. Toodles. Conservative, Democrat or Republican, Whig or Tory, Laurel or Yanny. We can all agree that our representative government should actually be representative of the people, that every vote should count equally, and that those Japanese toilets that shoot warm water up your asshole should be a right, not a privilege. We send our representatives to Washington, D.C. to represent us. That's representative government. But we aren't actually being represented. Every vote is not created equal. Just look at the Senate. Every state gets 2 senators, right? But the 10 least populous states have an estimated combined population of 9.3 million people. Los Angeles County alone has an estimated 10.1 million people. That's just one county in California. And yet 2 senators represent the whole state, 39.5 million people. Or think of this, Wyoming has 2 senators representing 600,000 people. New York has 2 senators representing 20 million people. That's like the difference between a public school with 1 guidance counselor for 4,000 students and a Montessori school with 3 counselors per Schuyler. The idea of 2 senators per state was created as a compromise to entice the less populated states to join the Union. Yeah, that made sense 240 years ago, but it doesn't make any sense now. The reason why the Constitution is a living, breathing document is because our forefathers knew that as our country grows and changes, so should our Constitution. What I'm saying is our forefathers could not have anticipated things like Twitter or AR-15s or even the concept of a shower. Things have changed in 240 years. Like, no one is named Thaddeus anymore. Maybe I'll bring it back. Maybe I'll name my son Thaddeus. Just kidding, I'm barren. Major metropolitan areas have high concentrations of people of color, so people of color end up being wildly underrepresented in the Senate. But doddering old white guys, holy fucking shit, are they represented? Have you been to the Senate? The whole place smells like Gold Bond. It really does. Their balls must hang so low, but when they go low, we go, hi, look at your balls. Are those your balls? They're so low. Hey, at least we're represented in the House. It's literally called the House of Representatives, so they must be representing us, right? Wrong. Because even though our population has tripled since 1911, we still have the same number of representatives, 435. There is nothing sacred about the number 435. There's no reason why it shouldn't change. If we get more people, raise the number. The song used to be Mambo number 4 until a little bit of Monica came into his life. But Lou Bega is a man of progress. Now, adding to the problem with the House is the unfair drawing of congressional districts, also known as gerrymandering. Not to be confused with Jerry Seinfelding, which is obviously when you get an espresso with Ray Romano in a Model T. The way things are, rural America is represented more than urban America. More than half of our senators represent less than 1/5 of the American population. Plus, D.C. and Puerto Rico have a combined population of like 4 million people and have no real congressional representation. And surprise, surprise, they both have high populations of people of color. All they have by way of representation is one delegate, and that delegate can't even vote. These are tax-paying citizens. Whatever happened to no taxation without representation? Wasn't that a thing once? Did I dream that? Puerto Rico and D.C. have the same congressional influence as, like, yogurt land. And then there's the Electoral College, which has given us 5 presidents who lost the popular vote. That means 5 times the will of the American people was ignored because of our weirdo, outdated rules. I'm still so pissed that Rutherford B. Hayes became president over Samuel J. Tilden. Hashtag not my 19th president. Our system of representation is screwy. It needs to be fixed. 67% of Americans support a ban on assault weapons, and yet the NRA and the red state politicians they pay have prevented it. 68% of Americans believe corporations who are polluting the planet should be taxed to offset the damage they're doing, but big oil and the red state politicians they pay have stopped that. I mean, 97% of Americans hate piss on toilet seats, but you know, big P. Who are the 3% that love it? This guy. Freak. Supporting an equal say for all citizens is as nonpartisan as supporting the troops. It's not about red states or blue states. 1/3 of the country is represented by just 8 out of 100 members of the Senate. That includes blue California, purple Florida, red Texas, and Jew New York. They all should have more senators. You know, Abraham Lincoln spoke of a government of the people, by the people, for the people. It's beautiful. It's the ideal. But unfortunately, idealism is no match for the greed and self-preservation by today's politicians. Of course, it benefits the citizens of the country to be properly represented. Unfortunately, it doesn't benefit the people sitting in power when their sole objective is to maintain that power. They would rather jump through hoops to ignore people than to hear them. So what can we do about this? I know everyone has been shoving the importance of voting up your assholes for months now. Like a sweet Japanese toilet. It is the single most effective power we have as citizens, because the only way any of this stuff happens is if we elect people who are committed to make the changes we need, like restructuring Congress, getting special interest money out of Washington, getting rid of the Electoral College, giving statehood to D.C. and Puerto Rico, putting an end to gerrymandering. Oh, fuck it. That's just so many things. Look, liberals, progressives, whatever, you're gonna have to just move back home. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I know you got out and moved to the coast so you could let your freak flag fly. But you all have to go back to your hometowns. It's the only way. We have too much red and blue and not enough purple. We gotta flood the red areas like locusts. Like locusts carrying vegan banh mi's and oat milk and NPR. So if you can do so safely and you can bear the thought of having to get your mason jar cocktails at Chili's, then please move back to your hometown.
Paid for by conservative mothers of liberal 30-year-olds.
Come home.
And I know you're probably thinking, hey, what about you, Sarah? You're from New Hampshire, but now you live in Hollywood. Yeah, I'm a hypocrite. I love it here. My bathtub is here. Oh, yeah, and I've got a show to shoot. I can't help it if I have my own TV show. All right, I'm done. Clap. Later on, I have an interview with future governor of California, Gavin Newsom. You want to tease? Yes, please. I just really want to, like, get into the politics of California and, like, pick your brain about it and lick your teeth and just, like, figure out how you compartmentalize. What?
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 Lick what?
Oh, I want to pick your brain.
Pick your brain on California, but then you said what?
I want to lick your teeth?
Did you say that?
Yeah.
What?
It's like a saying, like, I want to lick your teeth.
Pick your brain, I
Pick
get.
your brain.
Talk about California.
Talk about California.
But lick your teeth.
Yeah, I want to lick your teeth.
What?
What? What? I don't know how to. What do I do with this guy? You guys, I found Jesus. He was at the polls. Take a look.
We're gonna need some other form of ID. I'm just trying to do my job.
I know you're being helpful, but this is the only form of ID I have.
This doesn't even look like you.
The photo was restored by a woman who I know for a fact was doing the best she could with what she's been given.
Jesus?
Sarah, my child, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. Did you do something new with your hair?
No.
New shirt.
No.
Shave your beard?
What? Aren't you supposed to be omniscient?
Ugh. Divinity fail.
Anyway, it's so great you made it out to the midterms. Did you vote yet?
No, this guy's kind of busting my god balls a little bit.
Are God balls different than regular balls?
They're similar. Instead of being filled with semen, they're filled with clouds.
That's kind of beautiful. I bet it, like, ejaculating must be, like, amazing.
It's actually quite painful.
Oh, sorry. Important midterms, huh? Are you hoping for a blue wave?
I don't want to say who I'm voting for.
Come on, you've got to have some key issues that are driving your vote this year.
I just want a law that says you can't force your kid to die publicly by bleeding to death on a cross.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Yeah, now.
So what's your take on, like, the immigration situation?
Immigration. Well, we live in a nation where they'll let a Middle Eastern guy into their hearts, but not into the country. I mean, hashtag things that make you go,
Right? It's so fucked up. Sorry.
Come on. I curse all the time. Fuck, damn, piss, hell, bastard, shit. Side note, why is shit a curse, right? It's just another word for poop.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm always thinking that.
I know.
You are cool and smart and cute. You know, I wish. Oh, this is stupid. I mean, I almost wish that you weren't, like, celibate or asexual.
Actually, I'm not. I'm essentially pansexual. I love everyone and everything. In fact, I had mind-blowing sex with an oak tree the other day. Actually, Sarah, can you help me with something? I'm trying to figure out, with these ballots, who do I vote for, like, county clerk or lieutenant governor?
Oh, you know what I do? I just, like, do a little research online. Like, there are so many people posting helpful information on social media. Like, you know Alana Glazer?
No, who's that?
From Broad City.
Broad City. Yes.
Yes. She's liberal like me. And your ideals are,
Well, they seem very liberal to me.
Well, I don't want to pick sides, but let's just say I brew my own kombucha.
Right. Plus, you love trees. You are literally a tree hugger, a tree fucker.
Everyone is my type. I'm literally attracted to everyone.
No.
Yes.
You can't be attracted to everyone.
Yes, I can.
Swoozie Kurtz.
Susie Kurtz, of course. Come on.
Well, yeah, she's attractive.
Yeah.
What about the dancing guy from the Six Flags commercials?
I'm getting hard just picturing him.
No, you're not.
I am.
Steve Bannon.
Steve Bannon. Yes, of course. I love all forms of human because I am all forms of human. Watch this.
Whoa, Seattle Storm point guard Sue Bird.
Yep, I take many forms.
She is amazing. I am a huge fan.
I know, me too. I probably can't shoot like her, or can I? Did I make it?
Mm-hmm.
You know liars go to hell, right?
Is that true?
No, hell is just a construct.
Whoa, there he is. By the way, my dad loves Bosch.
My dad loves Bosch, too.
Dads love Bosch.
I'm just gonna check in really quick. Excuse me. Are you sure I'm not in the system?
Oh, there you are. Jesus Callahan. You're good to go.
All right, thank you.
Good luck, Jesus. I'm checking in, Sarah Silverman.
Okay, you're all set. You can use his booth when he's done.
I'm done. She's all yours. I'm outie.
You know, I can see your God balls from here.
Oh, well, don't look.
They're in the sky, like clouds. I mean, how often does that? Oh, maybe a lot.
Sarah, it was great to see you.
And also with you.
I'll see you later. Come on.
Gavin Newsom, ever heard of him? No! He's gonna be the next governor of California, bro. Check it out. Listen, let's get right
ready?
into this.
Let's do it.
Sitting here with Gavin Newsom. Hot shit, lieutenant governor, former mayor of San Francisco. I could go on and on. He's gonna be the next governor of California. He's sitting across from me. He's looking at me right now.
Staring you down.
Let's get right into this. You are dyslexic.
Yeah,
How did that shape you, being dyslexic?
everything. Worst thing that ever happened to me when I was a child, the best thing ever happened to me as I was an adult. See the world differently. You're more empathetic. I think you're more collaborative, more caring. You can't see the world the same way everybody else sees it, so you can't compete in that world. So you find your own path. Find different ways of looking at problems, solving problems. You're willing to take risks. You're willing to make mistakes, willing to learn from them, because you're good at making mistakes. If you can get through that without giving up, sky's the limit.
Yeah, if you can get past that adversity, I don't know if you look at it as adversity, I don't know, but like,
Yeah,
so many comedians are dyslexic
it's interesting.
and they've become great spontaneous speakers.
Because
of
they
it.
have no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and politically, it's a burden, though, to be candid. So if you gave me a speech to read, good luck, not gonna happen. If I looked down at a speech, I literally would lose, if I had to look back up, lose my space on the page, not a chance. So only speeches I read have to be in a teleprompter, but I'll spend easily an hour for a 5-minute speech.
So we have a president, his name is Donald Trump. He's given you a lot of shit. He called you a clown. He your stance on, not wanting a wall or wanting healthcare for all. He gives you a lot of shit about
Yeah,
that.
one
Are you
is-
hurt? I mean,
I am part of his stump speech lately, so we're getting under his skin for a reason. He's just met his match, with all due respect, with California. It's just a different thing. I mean, we are the ultimate un-Trump state. And this state celebrates its diversity, doesn't tolerate it. This state is happy and prideful about its low-carbon green growth strategies. This state will happily push back, enthusiastically push back on Trump.
It's funny, too, because a lot of Republican politicians weaponize California.
They wouldn't be weaponizing if this state was a failed state. What's really problematic for the right, for all my friends on Fox News and others, is that we're proving at scale that everything they've been saying for years and years is flat out wrong. We're not asserting it, we're proving it. We took a $27 billion budget deficit, have the highest rainy day reserves in our state's history, 27% of the state foreign-born, a state that's brought in 112,000 refugees in the last 15 years. No one does what we do at scale.
California is so great with environmental stuff, environmental law, that stuff, and yet we don't have any water.
We're making a lot of progress in water. Interestingly, Orange County has a toilet-to-tap system that's the envy of the entire planet, meaning no one does what they're doing in Orange County.
Hold on, what does toilet to tap mean? That doesn't sound appetizing to me.
It doesn't sound appetizing, but it shows how efficient and effective technology and a willingness to be resourceful at a time of declining resources and water resources, but basically taking dirty water and providing a framework to clean that water, use that water I can't say this with you looking at me that way.
I'm just saying, you're saying like you're taking like duty water and drinking it?
We're drinking it.
Putting it through a Brita?
A little bit more intense than a Brita.
Can't we say like bath to tap or something?
I know, it doesn't really, it's not a good slogan.
I get it, it's like a TTT alliterative, it's catchy, but
it's not good. You're right. You've expressed a strong point of view.
How about like diarrhea water?
That's absolutely not.
That you can drink.
That's not going to happen.
Put it on a T-shirt and it says, vote Gavin Newsom.
Yeah. The Trump administration will love that. Yes.
All right, let me ask you this. You're so progressive. You've always been ahead of the curve as mayor of San Francisco with marriage equality, with weed, with the environment. What are you chewing on next? Like, what is kind of the next thing for you?
I mean, the most important thing, and you lose folks on this, but it's the new brain science that's come in, 0 to 3.
What does that mean? Are you about to explain it?
85% of the brain is formed by the time you're just 3 years old. Billions of neurons that are connecting. They start pruning by the age of 4. So much of our time, energy, money is spent trying to solve problems after they manifest as opposed to preventing the problems in the first place.
Formative years.
And so it's infant and toddler care, not just preschool.
Let me ask you this, switching gears.
Yes.
That was like very professional kind of thing to say.
Unbelievable.
How do you reconcile how you feel about money and politics with the realities of money and politics?
And I've raised a ton of money. There was $119 million spent in our primary. And I'm out there doing 3-4 fundraisers a day.
Christ.
So it's absurd. Money and it's the answer to every single question. Whatever you have, whatever critique, whatever question you have as to why something is the way it is, there's one thing in common, it's money and politics. Just a fact. That fundamentally is the issue that defines all other issues. Here I am talking about money and politics, and literally, no exaggeration, after this, I'm going to do 3 fundraisers, 3 today. And I'm committed, if I'm successful as governor, to advance efforts on clean money and figure out a way to have public financing of campaigns. It's just absurd. It's past absurd now.
That's what I say to anyone. I won't even try to change your mind. Just see who benefits from taking their stances.
Yeah, why don't we have universal health care? Follow the money. Obvious. Why do we have poverty rates as high as we have? Follow the money. Look at the incentives for bad behavior, perverse incentives for bad behavior. Everything makes sense if you follow the money.
You're not afraid of Republicans. You were married to one. Your in-laws are them.
My in-laws, yeah. I know.
How does that help you? I think that...
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, you got to be able to see the world with a different set of eyes. You have to be empathetic. You got to understand where they're coming from. And look, the lens to which a lot of my family members, my in-laws see the world is exclusively through the editorial pages of the Wall Street Journal and Fox News. And so I forgive them. I get it.
Yeah.
But the point of emphasis is an understanding and empathy why we're talking past each other, often down to each other. And at a certain point, enough's enough, something's gonna have to give. I'm in the prism of partisanship in a campaign for governor with a hand-picked candidate that Donald Trump tapped on the shoulder to get in a runoff. So we're certainly in a different dynamic, but hopefully there's some healing process beyond that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's much bringing us together. It used to be like, oh, baby Jessica and a well.
I mean, perversely, war was a shared experience. And we've lost sight of citizenship, active, not inert citizenship. It's not you vote, I decide. It's about two-way conversations. And I think there's a sweet spot with citizenship where we can focus on the collective, the commonwealth, the things that bind us together.
The blue wave, is it?
Happening.
It is?
I just finished a bus tour, 8 days, 23 rallies, 15 candidates. Not just standing room only, standing room out in the parking lots. The energy is off the charts. I have no stress, no anxiety around what's going to happen on Election Day.
You
We're
are
going to take
so
back the House.
goyim.
It's going to happen.
Well, we did it. We had an incredible conversation and
We got
barely
through
sipped our drinks. Congratulations on becoming governor.
Knock on wood. One more week.
Now you get a little Jewish, knock on wood.
That's
You're
it.
sure there's a
That's
blue
it.
wave.
Yeah, I am sure of that. I'm sure of that.
Well, good luck. I'll be voting for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, that's the show. Thanks to Fred Armisen, Sue Bird, and Gavin Newsom. And now it's time for some sleep. Just gonna put my sleep tape on and off to bed. Good night, America. I don't always like you, but I love you.
You're getting tired. You're so famous. And no one will ever tire of your youthful yet age-appropriate ponytail that you waggle. No one can tell that you're Jewish. Not one person.